who actually looks at her and says, wow, nobody else could be the leader of the free world more than her. She is the mostest, bestest, smartest, wordest, saladest, border locking downest person I've ever seen. And so therefore I have to vote for her. Who actually thinks that these days? Good afternoon, Outliers. How are y'all doing today? Happy Thursday. Can you believe it's already Thursday? Don't forget to go vote, right? That is your civic duty. You need to go vote. If you don't vote, it's your own fault. You didn't get the candidate you wanted. And if you did vote, sorry, bruh. It just happens that way. Wes, good to see you. Tug is here. Randy's here. Leo's here. Jean-Louis here. Tesla. Woo! What's going on over at Tesla? As you know, I'm a Tesla owner. So I want to see. Oh my goodness. Oh my good gravy goodness. Hang on. Tesla is currently up 21% today. Look at that. Slamming headfirst into that order block, by the way. Right. Don't get too excited because we're seeing highs in Tesla that we haven't seen in 3 weeks. We haven't seen highs this high since October 1st. I always love to compare it like that. Actually, I am curious now that you say that. What is the current signal in Outlier? Now, granted, Outlier can't predict a earnings date, so I'm very curious. Peter, good to see you. Donna, Michael. Donna voted. Way to go. Waiting on that order block. Well, look at that. Tesla did get a buy signal. Got a buy signal on September 25th. Where's that at? September 25th. So it's actually about right there right now. So not too bad. Breaking even on the day, I suppose. Ah, Randy is a long-term holder. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, dude. That is a big, big, big move today. All right. Glad to see everybody. Hey, I just saw this. I haven't watched it yet. I don't even know if this title is clickbait or not, but it says Joe Rogan shocker. Kamala Harris quits on appearance as polls plummet. She also quits the All In podcast too. Now, do you listen to Joe Rogan? Because I do. I really love Joe Rogan. I really love what am I trying to say? Not the mainstream guests, right? Not the comedians. They're fine, right? I'll listen to them. But I really love like the really intellectual people, like Graham Hancock. There was one recently I had listened to, I think 2 or 3 times because I was like, man, this is so interesting about how it's a video game designer, how he talks about how reality is a simulation. Oh, I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, huge fan of Joe Rogan, and I'm looking forward to it, right? He says that he's going to be interviewing the soon-to-be 47th president of the United States, Donald Trump, on Friday. So curious to see what's in this video here.
Would you recommend that she be a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience?
No. Kamala Harris hasn't been exposed to a free rolling conversation in her time in elected office. And that's because when she rolls, frankly, she rolls all over the place.
Which is why we will work together and continue to work together to address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work operating from the new norms, rules, and agreements that we will convene to work together on to galvanize global action. With that, I thank you all. This is
Geez, she just said a whole bunch of nothing. Took 45 seconds to say absolutely nothing.
a matter of urgent priority for all of us, and I know we will work on this together.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and still recovering from watching Cackling Kamala.
Good to see you, Michael. Yorn, Randy, she talks a lot and says nothing.
Dish out word salad that not only didn't answer the questions that she needed to answer last night, but really said nothing. And it left me thinking, there is no way this woman goes on Joe Rogan or the All In podcast.
No way.
Apparently Donald Trump has agreed to do at least, well, obviously the Joe Rogan one, which is filming tomorrow. He's on his way to Texas right now. I don't know if he's going to be on the All In podcast, I assume. But now it appears that she has completely chickened out of doing the Joe Rogan podcast. I don't know if they're just throwing their arms up or what the case is, but this is what I can say. Vote early, in person. If you haven't voted today, go vote today and bring at least one other person. Look, if you can't bring anyone with you, still go vote, okay? But then badger your family and then pretend that you didn't vote and then go with them so make sure they go, figure out a way to get them to go. I don't care how good things feel like they're going. Vote like we're down 10. And I want to start the chicken out video hilariously by looking at what I thought these eyeballs would literally never ever see. Never see. I didn't think I would ever see this. Donald Trump is literally one positive poll away from leading in the aggregate on Real Clear Politics. As long as I've been covering this election, now maybe if I go back to like when Joe Biden was completely out of it, in the days, weeks before, if you look at this, you could see Trump did lead. Trump did lead by, call it what, 3 points over Biden. He led by, I would say 3 points at his all-time highest. No more than 3.3, 3.4. That was his all-time biggest lead over Biden. And he has never once, since Kamala Harris took over, led in national polling. Now
Which that continues to boggle my mind. Who would have voted for her? Who wants to vote for her? Who actually looks at her and says, wow, nobody else could be the leader of the free world more than her. She is the mostest, bestest, smartest, wordest, saladest, border locking downest person I've ever seen. And so therefore I have to vote for her. Who actually thinks that these days? I honest to God, do not understand that.
he still doesn't now. But look at these last 4 polls with really only probably one more round of polling coming through. Rasmussen, Trump +3. And by the way, this is national vote. This isn't odds of winning the election. This is the popular vote. Rasmussen, Trump +3. Forbes, Trump +2. CNBC, Trump +2. And the Wall Street Journal, Trump +3. Harris now leads in the national popular poll by an aggregate of 0.2. In 2024, Hillary Clinton led by 5.5 and 1, and Joe Biden led by 8. Now, does this mean anything? No. You must go vote. But directionally, the velocity of this, okay, that encouraging. And Lord, please give me, once people get hope, they're going to show up in droves. We can do this if we show up. That's how people will feel. And if he can start to pull ahead in the next set of polls this week and actually take the lead nationally, he's got a shot. If we look at Polymarket, it's kind of been sporadic.
I've been following a lot of Polymarket. I find it really interesting, the betting market for the election. Hey, Sebastian, good to see you.
The last couple days. But Trump still maintains a 24-point lead. Now, last night, when they tried to smear him with he's a dictator, he's a fascist, which we're going to talk about in another video later with all the highlights, which are hilarious.
Oh, yeah. And like the latest news is that Trump is a fan of Hitler. It's like, you have been saying the same thing since he was president in 2016. So probably 2014, 10 entire calendar years, 3,500 days at this point or more. And you are trying to say, Trump's Hitler. You need to not vote for him. He's going to basically end all the United States. It's like, people aren't buying it anymore. People are over it. Nobody's listening to that story anymore. You can't pull the wool over people's eyes like you could 10 years ago because the media landscape has changed. And like the traditional media, the old school media, it's over. Nobody believes them anymore. They lost all credibility during COVID. And now they're trying to say, but please believe us. This time he really is Hitler. No, nobody's believing it this time. I'm sorry. You've cooked your goose.
I don't know. You see this Kamala Harris slipping with podcast audience as Trump takes on Rogan. So there's panic now that she's chickened out on this. An overwhelming majority of Americans say they haven't heard either Vice President Kamala Harris or President Trump on a podcast, according to a poll. However, those who have heard the two candidates say they are far more likely to vote for Trump after his appearances than Harris. That sentence alone is maybe the most brutal indictment of how unlikable this woman is. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Every time she goes on to anything, she loses voters rather than gains voters. And like Peter says, history will tell. Speaking of history telling, let's go have our history tell our market analysis. That was a terrible segue. Welcome to the OVTLYR Trading Room. This is smart trading made simple. This is where we save time, make money, start winning. with less risk together as a team. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Christopher Yule. I'm your rich Uncle Chris. I've twice been awarded top 100 people in finance. I've been successfully trading since 2009. I'm a partner with OVTLYR, and this is my style of trading using the OVTLYR data. I call it the golden ticket trading strategy. And real quick, how does OVTLYR work? It's a 4-step process. OVTLYR monitors how investors are reacting to changing market conditions, price movements, and news, and the economy. OVTLYR determines if investors are acting irrationally fearful or greedy, and by how much. Number 3, God, I can't speak today. OVTLYR gives buy and sell signals when these irrational behaviors reach an extreme. And number 4, allowing you to get into the stock before the OVTLYR move happens, like Tug saw this week. Way to go, Tug. Now, on today's member highlight, we have a lot to talk about. Well, the man in the shadows decides to show up. How you doing, Brian? Like the market, what goes up comes down. Votes work the same way. All right, let's go into the Discord. I have a lot on the Discord going on right now, so this is really great. Yesterday, I did ask a few questions, if you wouldn't mind answering. I know several people have, and I would really appreciate you guys continuing to answer these questions. Basically, I'm working on our marketing plan, and I'm trying to get it into your head, right? What was it to you that when you had that light bulb moment, when you were like, oh yeah, this makes sense. OVTLYR does work. I want to buy this, right? I want to get OVTLYR. What was that light bulb moment? That's really what I'm after. So if you don't mind, just answer a few of these questions here. And when you do, you'll also be entered to win the weekly winner circle. Of course, we want to take care of everybody there. Let's see. I mean, we had so many answers to this, which I really appreciate. I'll just drop on a handful here. What made you feel confident OVTLYR would work? This is from Sebastian. The transparency of publishing all trades, even sharing them on YouTube. It's like the guy from the Turtle Trader. Even if I show you how to make money, how to make tons of money, barely anybody would follow me. Yeah. Sebastian, his moment where it was like, I'm in, let's do this, was once I understood the systematic approach Chris uses and shows every day, I had more time to trade, set up my trades on my own. Very cool. Leo said on that, I'm in, let's do this. When I saw how Chris uses the signal, I created a strategy around it. His passion for teaching everyone how to trade and transparency. Thank you, my friend. That's why I do this, right? Like I show you how it works every day. It makes it really easy. Light bulb moment. Peter says there wasn't a specific trigger for him. How has it changed the way he trades? So with Chris's golden ticket trading strategy paired with the OVTLYR, I feel more confident. The added insights show me that the team is backed up by experienced traders and good programmers. Absolutely. Who wrote this? Nate. When he saw the heat map, that was a big thing for him. Very cool. So, like I say, I really appreciate everybody taking their time to craft these responses. It means a lot to me. And it absolutely does help us make a better product for you, which I wanted to mention in the product related announcements. Mahesh is working on a huge upgrade coming soon. He said his plan is to actually take the big upgrade and break it into 2 smaller upgrades so we can get it faster. So look forward to that. And then I also wanted to add on to Mahesh's point here is that we are unbelievably lucky, right? We speak directly to you, our end customer, and we use the product ourselves. Because of that, we are driving together the improvements on a daily basis. So, and like I put down here, just think of how great the iPhone would be if Tim Apple / Tim Cook had his customers that he could talk to on a daily basis and push out constant improvements. That's how I look at this. Like we are going to change finance, and I'm really stoked to have you along the ride with us. So don't forget to share your stories in the Discord. And the first rule of OVTLYR, you should tell everybody about OVTLYR and hit the like button, right? I know you're already subscribed, but hit the like button and that lets YouTube know to tell everybody as well. Now let's go over to the market. And I don't believe I'll be trading today. Why? Why won't I be trading today? Well, first, the 10 is over the 20, price is over the 50. I did mark on here when we started trading and when I went to cash right here. Not a lot of days, but I did turn a couple profits, turn a couple dollars. So I like that. What's going to hold me out here, though, is market breadth. Because market breadth, let's see, on the bull list here versus the bear list. I'm going to show you this and show you what's on my mind about it. We have 16 new buy signals today, whereas we got 50 new sell signals today. That's a little lopsided to me. And now that we can measure that, right, we can see that it did cross down. So market breadth is actually waning. And I believe it was Tug just a little bit ago. He mentioned that outliers are not the only ones out of the market. He's saying trading volume half the average daily volume. I think a lot of it has to do with the election. We're coming into 2 weeks of a very contested election here. And I think people are starting to pull back and say, I'm going to wait until after the election. Like Mahesh was saying in his video earlier today. I plan on trading every opportunity I have up until election night. Then I'm going to cut out because I will not trade elections again. But then I'll try again. All right. Then we'll try again. But then what was it that I wanted to see? There was something I wanted to show you. I just can't remember. Is it normal to have a sell-off before earnings? It can go either way, honestly, Peter. One thing I like to do is trade into earnings. And if the company's been struggling, yeah, there can be a huge sell-off leading into earnings because people are nervous, people are worried. And so they're like, well, I got to get out of here before earnings. It's going to get even worse, right? And then earnings are a crapshoot, honestly. Earnings are a gamble. And I don't go into earnings unless I built myself a really comfortable cushion because it can go either way. I mean, you can have an incredible report and the stock just collapses, or you can have a terrible report and the stock skyrockets, kind of like Tesla skyrocketed today. So I won't be trading because we're locked out using the market breadth right here. However, I'm not going to just let you sit on the sidelines. You're welcome, Peter. We should have more volatility for the next 2 weeks. I agree. I'm not going to let you sit on the sidelines. In fact, I want to have more teaching time. So I pulled out my copy of New Trader, Rich Trader. This is one of my favorite books ever for traders. If you don't have a copy, go on Amazon. It might be $10, right? It's going to be one of the best $10 you ever spend. I know I always tell you that whenever I recommend a book, but you've got to get this book here. Now, one thing that I wanted to do was the very first time I read this was on Kindle. And I don't like ebooks, but I did read this one on Kindle. And I went back and I'm like, hey, look at that. I can access this on the computer. And it shows all the parts that I highlighted. So I was like, this is perfect. This will go back into Chris from ages ago, giving his opinion versus Chris now when he's got more wrinkles and less hair. Peter says, bought last week. It's great. Oh, yeah, very cool. Brian says, come on, Chris, you couldn't be wrong about the market post-election 2 times. Bro, listen. Michael says, it's a great book. Brian, I will not make the same mistakes again. That's for sure. And one thing I'm not going to do is trade around it. So I'm going to sit on the sides. Just what I'm going to do. Michael says, it's a great book. Randy says, I'll only do strangles on earnings, but the premiums are outrageous at times. Yeah, I gave that up as well. But you know what? I'm not going to give up teaching you guys how to make awesomeness in your trading account. So let's do this. For teacher mode, you really need to wear a turtleneck with your blazer. Well, maybe I will tomorrow, Brian. We'll see. So this is chapter 1 in the psychology section. These chapters are quick. I'm only going to hit the highlights here. And I just really want to give you my perspective, having been on both sides of New Trader and Rich Trader here, as to how this looks to me today, right? And how I have learned from A to B, right? So new traders are greedy and have unrealistic expectations. Rich traders are realistic about their returns. Boy, I tell you, that really hit me when I was reading through this, because if you remember just a couple days ago, we had someone in the Discord say that Chris's trades are just not good enough. He doesn't have enough returns on everything. And you know what? That's okay. If you have those expectations of having 100, 200, 1,000% returns on every trade you put on, by all means, dude, you do you. I'm going to continue doing me because it's working out pretty well, right? Now that we've locked down the, in fact, go back to this. Now that we've locked down the master key and we are trading less, but trading better, master key results for the year are currently at 108%. So this is what I'm looking at for next year. 108%, 81% win rates, right? And yeah, that's getting those measly 2 to 11% wins over and over and over again. But new traders are greedy and have unrealistic expectations. Rich traders are realistic about their returns. I don't know why I highlighted he was ready. New trader projected that he could double his account in a few months, then double it again. That is not very realistic, right? Even with everything all set up that way, if you plan to trade huge, you can make huge returns. But keep in mind, right? It's like swinging for home runs. You're going to hit some home runs, no doubt about it. But you're also going to strike out a lot. And the question is, can you afford those strikeouts? Right? If you are coming up to bat and you're getting 1 out of 3 right, but that one is worth, round numbers here, that one is worth $100, and you're so stoked about it, and the other 3 that you put on each lost you $100 because you're swinging for the fences here, right? It's not gonna work. No. Many have blown up their accounts, some losing 50% or more of their starting capital. Others have gone bankrupt when they didn't control their risk or ignored their trading plan. Well, look at that. Isn't that what I talk about all the time? Controlling your risk, position sizing, and having a trading plan. You know, I say that because it's the truth. Having a plan is what separates the best from the rest, right? And it's pretty cool that I highlighted that 100 years ago when I did. Randy says, base hit trades are more profitable than the occasional home run. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go on here. To reach his initial goal, he would need to find a stock that would double quickly. Wow. Dude, I would love to find a stock that would double. When's the last time you found a stock that doubled quickly? Daggum. Even with all the outlier data out there, pretty sure it's not that easy to just find a stock that's just going to double quickly, right? Everyone has a plan until they lose all their money, and then they realize how crap their plan was. Over here it says that hot stock you're in love with could just as easily fall 50% instead of doubling in price. And that reminded me of something in Discord a couple days ago. I think it was Max. Max and I were talking a couple things. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. Here we go. Max was talking about position sizing and how he didn't realize just important that was, right? Like with BX, how I traded at 8 times less in size than OHI. And he didn't understand, at the time, he does now, how important it is for that position sizing. And so this position sizing has a big impact, bigger than anything. Yeah. So Max said, therefore, it might not be profitable. And you must understand that by having a limited portfolio size, each one could have an outsized impact, positive or negative, until it can handle the risk more easily. So if you're trading with a smaller account, you're not going to be able to put on 10 lots or whatever, right? You might have to be limited to 1 or 2 contracts per. Now, that 1 or 2 contract per is going to have an outsized impact on your small portfolio. And that makes total sense, right? You're putting a larger portion into it than you would if you had a different sized account. And he's saying, therefore, it might not be profitable to do that. And I said, yeah, or it could be incredibly profitable, right? You put on a 1 lot and, it takes up your entire account and then it doubles. Well, daggum, that's an incredibly wildly profitable trade. But they don't always work right like that, right? But it absolutely can happen. And that's where I was going with that is that stock that you love could as easily fall 50% or double in price. You don't really know. And because of that, you've got to position size correctly. In addition to all those factors, the market would need to trend. In addition to all these factors, the market would need to trend in favor of your trading style for you to make those type of returns. Wow. How about that? You always start with the market. Let the market tell you which way it's going. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how long it took me to understand that sentence right there. I'll never forget the time where I was at the public library with my son. He was little, it's probably 3, and I had my phone up and I was looking at QQQ and at the people who I was learning to trade from at the time. So stupid now. They were like, hey, listen, when the market's going up, bro, you sell calls as the market's going up. Now, you, at this point in your life in 2024, are probably thinking, why in God's green earth would I sell calls when the market's going up? Wouldn't that be the world's worst trade in the world? The world's worst trade in the world. Yes, it was. From the moment that I put that trade on, it lost money. until I took it off. The moment I put it on, I'm telling you, 3 seconds after I put on that trade, it was a loser until it was just like, what a stupid trade, weeks later, and I had to take it off. And all I had to do was go in the direction of the market, go in the trend. But no, I thought it was smart enough. I followed these people who thought they were geniuses. They're like, oh yeah, just when the market's going up, sell calls. It comes back down. The market comes back down, and then you make all this money. Duh. They were huge believers of the efficient market theory. I am here to tell you right now, the efficient market theory has been debunked, right? The efficient market theory would say the SPY cannot trend like this. The efficient market theory says that there is absolutely no chance that could happen. Well, maybe not no chance, but a very, very slim chance. Whereas trend traders are like, well, yeah, it's trending. Efficient market theorists think that there is no trend. That is a very stupid way to trade. Let's go on. No, you want to get rich slowly. Nobody wants to get rich slowly. But if you're trying to get rich fast, you're going to take risks that are too big. Right? You're going to take, isn't that what I want to do? Win big? No, you want to get rich slowly. You want to make consistent returns over a long period of time. You can grow your account rapidly by compounding your gains. Kind of like what Randy was talking about, right? I just closed that spreadsheet. Let me open it back up. Is this boring to you or is this useful? Because this is my jam. I can talk about this all day. I love trading. Like I have trading running through my blood, right? All of these are very minor returns, right? Average win 17%, average loss 15%. Nothing huge is going on here, but the win rate being 81% is very consistent, right? And so you see right here in this, what is that called? Normal distribution chart, right? Most of them are within this one standard distribution, which is 67% or 64% of the time, right? A lot of them are just flirting with zero. It's only these outsized ones that really make a difference out here, right? Now, there's more outsized ones out here than there are out here. I don't even know why we have any over here. Those are the losses. But you can see here, right? A 14% month is pretty damn awesome. And then you add a 12% month on top of that, which that's what that looks like, right? A 14% month plus a 12% month plus a 30% month, ciao, plus a 7% month plus another 7% month, right? Right there and right there. Right? You don't need huge wins. What you need is not big losses. That's it. That's it. Tug says it's useful. Very cool. Michael says very useful. Wes says useful, not boring at all. Oh, appreciate it, dude. Ryan says turtle versus the hare. Gotcha. Peter says, does the percentage also count if you just do stocks instead of options? It would be much smaller. Much smaller. I mean, there might be a 1 or 2%, might be a 1 or 2% move in the stock, yet a 17% move on the option, right? Now, you could go out of the money options and you might see voluminously bigger percentage changes, right? You might, where my option may only go up, if I'm doing an 80 delta and it goes up by 10%, right? Your option at the 20 delta, so 4 times less, might go up 40%. Does that make sense, right? Because we're talking deltas here. And I'm only buying the deep in the money options, but you might be buying the out of the money options. You might be buying 4 times as many. So your trade might go up 40%, and mine might only go up 10, but yet we're going to end up at the same place. All right, let's go back to here. Successful trading is based on ever increasing account equity and minimum drawdowns. Now, this is something I learned from Minervini, the minimum drawdowns, because he showed me his results one year, somewhat like this, right? And what blew my mind was how little he lost. He didn't have giant months, right? He had months, kind of like this, but it blew my mind because it's like, wait a minute, you don't have to have big losing months. You don't have to have big losing trades. He's like, no, dude. When you avoid those big losers and you just stack winners and even just stack tiny losses, that's the way it works. That's the way this game is played. And so when I saw his returns just like this, over the course of a year, he had several months he didn't trade, several months where he did trade. I don't remember if he had any losing months. And if he did, it was less than a couple percent. But it was like, whoa, I don't need giant months. I 6% month, a 7% month, and you compound that, turns into giant returns overall. Realistically, a good trader can get 10 to 25% returns per year. Some great traders can produce 50%. And if they have outlier, good gravy. This is going to be awesome, by the way. You need to focus on a sound strategy, system, and trading plan, and not profits. How many times have I said that, right? Focus on your entries, focus on your exits, right? The profits will fall out, right? Having a good plan, having an edge in the market, not automatically, but in theory, given enough trades, will drop out profits. Good trading will create your profits, but focusing on your profits will usually lead to bad trading, which is one of the reasons why I tell people, turn off your P&L. In your broker, go turn off your P&L. You don't want to be jaded by that. I don't even know how much I've made or lost on a trade until I've closed the trade. I don't even know on the percent, right? You see me, I have to go calculate my percent on each one because I don't want to know. I want to focus on execution. Because when you add in the emotional factor of, oh my God, I just lost enough to buy my Tesla. Or, haha, dude, I just paid off my Tesla today, right? You don't want to think in those terms. You want to just focus on execution. Ahesh says 6% is actually huge per month over the long term. I know, dude. Ahesh, we're gonna change finance, dude. Let's go on here. People who look for easy money invariably play. That was me. People who look for easy money invariably pay for the privilege of proving conclusively that it cannot be found on this earth. Yeah, I'll never forget literally praying in church. Please, dear Lord Jesus, let this trade work out. And it didn't. But that's okay. It's because it didn't that I learned some really great lessons that I can pass on to you today. And then this will be the last bit for this chapter. My study of profitable professional traders and money managers leads me to believe that these are the high end of the average annual returns that are, wait a minute. Rich Trader's Tip. My study of profitable professional traders and money managers leads me to believe that these are the high end of average annual returns that a successful trader can expect. Achieving this kind of result requires a proven strategy and is followed with discipline. Followed with discipline. Sounds exactly like somebody who I wish I had the opportunity to be mentored by, but unfortunately I wasn't. Richard Dennis. I always say you could publish rules in the newspaper and nobody would follow them. The key is consistency and discipline, which most people don't have, right? If you're going to show up, if you're going to do this job, I mean, consider it a job, right? You're going to show up every day to do this job. The job is to take care of your family. That is your job here. So you need to show up to do it. Or just don't plan on getting paid. How's that sound? So listen, I want to thank you so much for being an outlier. Thank you so much for coming to today's trading room. I want to continue and we'll work through this whole book here. Like I say, I have so many comments to this. Steve is a personal friend of mine and just wrote, honestly, if I could give you a handful of books, this would be it, right? If I could give you 3 or 4 or 5 books total, this would absolutely be in that list. So I'm really stoked to go through this with you. And I appreciate you being here. And of course, following along. We couldn't do this without you. We want to pay you back every single day by helping you save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. Don't forget, you can still grab your annual plan for just 90 cents a day. We actually are going to be raising the price next week. Just so you know, you might want to grab it if you haven't done so already. Let us know if you need anything in the Discord. And the first rule of OVTLYR, you should tell everybody about OVTLYR, right? We're here to change finance, and boy, are we going to do it. And you're seeing it. You're here. You're on the ground floor. You're doing it with us. And be sure you hit the like button, right? That tells YouTube that you want to change finance too. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow for Friday. Don't forget, Weekly Winner Circle will be tomorrow. Do me a favor and answer those questions in the Discord. I'll see you right back tomorrow. Talk soon.